Max Horkheimer, Eclipse of Reason, 1947, Summary. Max Horkheimer's Eclipse of Reason, 1947, is a seminal work of critical theory, written in the immediate aftermath of World War II. Horkheimer, a leading figure of the Frankfurt School, engages with the philosophical, social, and historical transformations of reason in modern Western society. His central concern is the decline or eclipse of substantive, ethical, and critical reason under the dominance of instrumental rationality, a development he sees as deeply entwined with the rise of totalitarianism, bureaucratic administration, and the dehumanizing tendencies of modern capitalism. 1. The concept of reason. Horkheimer begins by distinguishing two forms of reason, objective reason and instrumental reason. Objective reason is the classical conception of rationality as a normative guide to ethical and moral life. It is the kind of reason associated with the pursuit of justice, human flourishing, and the common good. In this framework, reason has a substantive content. It is not merely a tool, but a standard for evaluating ends and means alike. Instrumental reason, by contrast, is purely technical and means-oriented. Its primary concern is the efficient attainment of given ends, without questioning whether these ends are valuable or ethical. In modern societies, Horkheimer argues, instrumental reason has increasingly dominated thought and social organization. Science, technology, and bureaucracy, when guided solely by efficiency and control, become expressions of instrumental reason. While these tools are powerful and useful, their ascendancy leads to the neglect of moral and substantive questions, resulting in a form of rationality that is morally blind. 2. Historical development of reason. Horkheimer traces the historical development of reason to show how instrumental rationality came to dominate modern life. He situates his analysis within the context of Western philosophy, drawing on Aristotle, Kant, and Hegel, and contrasts these thinkers' views with contemporary developments in science and society. In Aristotle and classical philosophy, reason is closely linked to ethics. To be rational is to live in accordance with virtue and the good life. Kant furthers this by emphasizing autonomy and the moral law as central to rationality. However, Horkheimer argues that during the Enlightenment, reason began to take on a more formal and abstract character. Philosophers increasingly emphasize the procedural and calculative aspects of rationality, paving the way for its reduction to a technical instrument. This transformation is further accelerated by modern science and industrialization, which prioritize control over nature and society rather than ethical reflection or human welfare. 3. Instrumental reason and modern society. The central thesis of Eclipse of Reason is that the dominance of instrumental reason has profound social consequences. Horkheimer identifies three major spheres where this transformation is particularly evident. 1. Science and technology. Scientific progress and technological innovation, when guided by instrumental rationality alone, prioritize efficiency and power rather than moral reflection. While science achieves remarkable control over nature, it can also become a means of domination, as seen in the militarization of technology and the bureaucratic management of social life. 2. Politics and bureaucracy. Instrumental reason shapes modern political and administrative structures, emphasizing technical competence and efficiency over democratic deliberation or ethical principles. Bureaucracies are designed to maximize control and predictability, often at the cost of human freedom, individuality, and moral judgment. Horkheimer sees this trend in both capitalist democracies and totalitarian regimes, though he is particularly concerned with the latter's extreme forms of rationalized domination. 3. Culture and morality. In culture and everyday life, instrumental reason manifests as conformity and the commodification of human values. Cultural production is increasingly measured by profitability or mass appeal rather than artistic or moral significance. Similarly, moral reasoning becomes reduced to mere calculation. People follow norms or pursue goals because they are efficient or socially advantageous, not because they are ethically sound. 4. The eclipse of substantive reason. Horkheimer's critique revolves around the notion of the eclipse of reason. As instrumental rationality ascends, substantive reason, the capacity to evaluate ends in light of ethical and humanistic principles, diminishes. This eclipse is not merely theoretical. It has practical and dangerous consequences. It fosters moral indifference, social alienation, and an acceptance of oppressive systems, because people increasingly judge actions by their technical success rather than their justice or humanity. Horkheimer emphasizes that this transformation is historically contingent. The eclipse of reason is not inevitable, but it is deeply rooted in the structures of modern industrial and bureaucratic society. Modern individuals, absorbed in efficiency, productivity, and consumption, lose the capacity for critical reflection, for questioning authority, or for imagining alternative social arrangements. Hashmark 5. Critique of Contemporary Philosophy and Social Science. Horkheimer critiques contemporary philosophy and social science for contributing to the eclipse of reason. He is particularly critical of positivism, which treats facts as neutral and divorces knowledge from ethical and social considerations. By focusing solely on observation, measurement, and prediction, positivist approaches reinforce instrumental rationality and neglect the moral and normative dimensions of human life. Similarly, Horkheimer critiques psychology, economics, and sociology when they reduce human behavior to mechanistic, utilitarian, or statistical models. By abstracting individuals from their ethical and social contexts, these disciplines contribute to the bureaucratic and technical mindset that dominates modern life. 6. Possibility of reclaiming reason. Despite his critique, Horkheimer does not present a purely pessimistic view. He argues that the eclipse of reason is reversible if society can reclaim substantive critical reason. This requires a renewed focus on human needs, ethical reflection, and social justice. Education, philosophy, and critical social theory play crucial roles in cultivating the capacity for reflective judgment and moral responsibility. Horkheimer emphasizes the inseparability of theory and practice. Critical reason must engage with social realities, challenging the domination and exploitation inherent in instrumental rationality. The goal is to develop a society in which technological and scientific advancements serve human well-being, rather than abstract ends of efficiency, profit, or control. Number 7. Relevance to totalitarianism in post-war society. Written in the aftermath of the Second World War and the Holocaust, Eclipse of Reason has a historical urgency. Horkheimer links the rise of fascism and totalitarianism to the dominance of instrumental rationality. The bureaucratic efficiency of modern states, when divorced from substantive ethical reasoning, facilitates mass violence and systematic oppression. The text implicitly warns that rationalization without moral reflection can lead to catastrophic consequences, a lesson relevant not only to authoritarian regimes but also to post-war democratic societies increasingly dominated by technological and bureaucratic imperatives. 8. Conclusion. In Eclipse of Reason, Horkheimer offers a profound critique of modern Western civilization. By distinguishing between substantive and instrumental reason, he illuminates the moral and intellectual crises of contemporary society. The rise of instrumental rationality, though associated with scientific and technical progress, leads to moral blindness, alienation, and social control. Horkheimer's work challenges readers to reflect critically on the nature of rationality and to resist the reduction of reason to a mere instrument. Only through the reclamation of substantive reason, grounded in ethical principles and humanistic concerns, can society achieve genuine freedom, justice, and human flourishing. Horkheimer's analysis remains highly influential for contemporary philosophy, social theory, and critical studies. It continues to inform debates about technology, bureaucracy, moral responsibility, and the ethical foundations of modern life. The text is a warning and a call to action. Rationality must be more than efficiency. It must be guided by humanity, justice, and critical reflection.